So I mentioned that print statements look different in Xcode, and I want to show you that contrast from our playground, why print statements are important and probably the most likely place you're going to be using print statements. So let's go ahead and open up Xcode, and I'm going to select create a new Xcode project and not get started with a playground. So I'm going to choose iOS application, single view application, and we can go ahead and select next. And then I'm just going to call this print. Make sure the language is set to Swift. The organization name, you can use your own organization name. Use self, you can use your personal name. And for the organization identifier, if you have your own URL, just like do io.bitfound or com. Whatever the name of your website is. So that's fine. Again, if you're confused here, you can do something like self.edu. That would be fine as well. So our devices here, we're going to set to universal. Our language will be Swift, and we go ahead and select next. We don't really need a Git repository because we're not going to be doing a ton of coding, but you might as well create it in case you want to save it on GitHub. So just save that. We'll create that on our desktop here. And we're just going to do all our work inside of the view controller. Now, in the past, we've always written our code inside of Playground. We haven't really touched viewDidLoad yet, but viewDidLoad is a special function, and we'll talk about functions in crazy depth in the future, that is called every time our view loads for the first time for our view controller here. So basically when we run our app, it's going to go ahead and call all of the code inside of these curly braces. So it's going to say super.viewDidLoad. We'll cover that in the future. That's essentially just calling up to our super class's implementation of viewDidLoad, actually calling that function there. But the real point is that we can write code inside of viewDidLoad, and it will run because our computer program calls this function when it loads the view for the first time. So we can prove this by using a print statement. We can write print, and we'll just do a string for now. We'll say viewDidLoad is working. And we can prove actually that viewDidLoad is working and didReceiveMemoryWarning is not working by saying print. And we're going to say didReceiveMemoryWarning is not being called. So let's go ahead and run our application here. And what we should see come out inside of our console, which is the output for print. Remember in our playground, we have that nice output on the right-hand side. We don't have that in Xcode. We have a special console dedicated to this, and I'm going to show you where it is just in case you have trouble finding it on your own. So while we wait for our simulator to load here, if you just press this button right here, you can see that it's going to go ahead and open up the console. Now the console is on this side. Now it looks like we had some sort of error running our simulator. Let's just go ahead and just rerun this. And we see viewDidLoad is working, but we don't see didReceiveMemoryWarning is not being called. Right? So only the code inside of this set of curly braces is running. And it makes sense. didReceiveMemoryWarning, even though you don't know what this function is, hopefully you can guess like, oh, there's some sort of issue with my app. It's causing a memory warning, and Apple wants me to alert me to that fact. So we haven't done anything inside of our app yet other than writing these two print statements. So there's no reason we should be out of memory yet. So Apple doesn't call this function. So let's go ahead and see if we can add a few more print statements just to prove how print works. Let's go ahead and create some variable, or excuse me, some constant here. And we're going to set this equal to 10. Let's go ahead and print this out. And we should see 10 print after we see viewDidLoad is working. And let's go ahead and just do a variable too while we're here. We're going to say var some variable. We'll set this equal to I am a variable. And let's go ahead and just print this out. And let's just practice our string interpolation, or adding a variable inside of our print statement here. So we can say identifier colon, and then we'll actually go ahead and print out some variable. Now the warning here is it's going to tell me that I should replace var with let because I'm not mutating some variable. You can just ignore that for now. Yellow warnings are really good to look at. They can provide hints in your code. And technically I should make this a constant since I'm not changing it, but I want to show you that we can do both constants and variables. So we're going to leave this as var for now. Okay, let's go ahead and reprint this. And we're going to go ahead and show view did load is working. So that's my first print statement here. Then we can see 10 because that's my constant that I'm passing into my print statement here. And then we see identifier colon some variable, and some variable is equal to I am a variable string. So we see identifier colon I am a variable string. So all three of our print statements are working here. We can also see the order of these print statements matters because we're going with the first print statement, the second print statement, and the third print statement. Just remember your code is going in order. It's going 1, 2, and 3, and it's not starting at the bottom and working its way up or something like that. It's very ordered and structured here.